Hello, this is Brian Scuttle of Sonic Cinema here with a quick take. This one for the holiday film Red One with Dwayne Johnson, Chris Evans, and Lucy Liu, directed by Jake Kasden. I have very mixed feelings about that last one because I really loved Zero Effect when it came out in 1998. I think he's a really strong character-driven director. I know he's been with Johnson on the Jumanji movies, which at least the first one that I saw is entertaining. I would really like to see him go back to more character-driven stuff, though. I've not seen Walk Hard. I do really want to see Walk Hard. I forgot that was him. So, Red One is a holiday film, and Dwayne Johnson plays a sort of bodyguard to Santa Claus, played by J.K. Simmons. And he is getting ready to retire because he's having a hard time seeing the good in people now, and he doesn't feel like he can do the job anymore. And the day before Christmas, or 2 days before Christmas, I should say, Santa Claus is kidnapped. And involves Chris Evans, who's a computer hacker and basically a degenerate gambler who is kind of distant with his son, who's with his ex. And there's not a whole lot more to the story than that. I will admit the story actually has some decent ideas in it. The mythology and spy stuff is actually kind of interesting. The biggest problem I have with the movie is it really struggles with tone. I don't think this film, I feel like this film wants to be like a Fast and Furious movie or an action movie. And I think that kind of gets in the way of being a Christmas movie to a certain extent. Not helped by the fact that the cinematography in this movie is dreadfully ugly. It's even for something like Krampus's castle, it works really well to be so dark, but the North Pole looks like it's out of Blade Runner, and not in a good way. And I'm like, why? I don't understand why this is, I don't know why they made this choice. I mean, I get that's a more high-tech Christmas movie, and Santa Claus and all that stuff, as we see at the very end. But at the same time, it just doesn't make sense with... I don't think this blend of genres and ideas works, really. Well, I will say, I think the performances do work. I mean, Johnson, you basically are going to get what you expect to get out of him at this point. I think he can be decent only as much as his co-stars are. And I think Evans and Simmons actually help bring something out of him in this. And it was good to see Lucy Liu in this. I really liked her in this. It's funny, a couple of years ago, I watched Ballistic X versus Sever for podcasts, and I also watched Lucky Number 7 for Leaving the Collection. And I'd forgotten how much I liked Lucy Liu in that. And then you contrast that with Ballistic X versus Sever. It doesn't really seem like it trusts her to be a charismatic character. And I think to a certain extent, this movie certainly leans more into the action-heavy Charlie's Angels, badass Lucy Liu. but I think it does in a decent way, and I think it uses that type of character well for her. Um, the visuals, honestly, are my least favorite thing about this, and it really keeps me from going higher and thinking that this is a good movie. I think it's a very rough movie because of those visuals. But that being said, I think it's it's, if you get into it, I think you're going to get into it. If you're a fan of holiday movies, I can kind of see this one. This one hits some good marks from story standpoint, from a theme standpoint that I think is successful. But overall, it's kind of a miss for me. And if I don't watch it again, I think I'd be kind of fine with that. Those are my thoughts on Jake Kasden's Red One. I will have more as far as quick takes, as far as for your consideration reviews, and much more coming into December and then January and February. Thank you very much. This is Brian Scuttle of Sonic Cinema, and I hope you have a safe holiday.